All right, brothers. We got Stephen A. Smith. You know what? There were some things that Stephen A. Smith said that I actually agree with. He said a lot, and I agree with a lot of things. There's one disagreement that I have with him, which I will bring it up later. But I've said this quite a few times that a lot of our women don't want to be wives. They want the title, but they don't want the responsibility. So if y'all all know about Joe Smith, y'all know that his wife used to be in the adult industry. If y'all already know what that's all about, and he should have known better. He should have known who he was marrying, and that's where I have a disagreement with Stephen A. Smith about that because he brought that up too, but he didn't. He said we shouldn't be bringing that up like he should have known. But I feel like Joe Smith should have known better. So if y'all didn't know, his wife went on to OnlyFans. She did an OnlyFans to help with some money, but she didn't tell him, and she embarrassed him. So I'm gonna go ahead and let it play out. I will be chiming in here and there, saying what I gotta say, because this is a lot. But let's get to it.
Well, welcome back to Stephen A. Smith Show right here on the digital airwaves of YouTube. Um, it's very rare I want to get into stuff like this, but it's necessary. And I'm going to tell you why. Because there's so much back and forth going on, people talking so much stuff. And it's a damn shame that people aren't capable of getting the big picture. And I don't think it's a lack of capability. I think it's because you don't want to. I think people like trolling. I think people like making fun of people, and people are not just looking at the sincerity and the seriousness of a situation and understanding what a true violation really is, particularly when it comes to a married couple. So take into account former NBA star Joe Smith. Joe Smith, who messed up and missed out on a $105 million contract. That's a long story to get into. But ultimately earned approximately $61 million in his NBA career. For years, he's been married to a lady by the name of Keisha Chavez. Spelled Chavis, but they said the pronunciation is Chavez. If I mispronounced her name,
Brothers, before we even get into the marriage part, $61 million he acquired during his NBA career. And he squandered all of that. I don't know how he squandered 61 million, but it just goes to show you that we black men, I would just even say men, but mostly black men, we have a bad problem when it comes to money. Like we have no financial knowledge at all. And I could put myself in that category too. I could definitely put wasn't I wasn't knowledgeable about finances at all. And that's one of our biggest problems. We so busy wanting to live the high life. We get all this money. We want to have the most expensive shoes. We want to have the biggest house. And I'm sure that I don't know if he had both of his parents, but if he didn't, he probably went and bought his mom a house, probably hooked up his homies. We have no financial knowledge at all, and we don't know how to take care of ourselves when it comes to money, and that's one of our biggest problems as black men, and we got to do better. But let's continue.
name, my apologies, but that's how I heard her name pronounced. And apparently there was a video that was circulating and it's trending because Joe Smith was furious because this individual, who was once being advised by the great Alex Rodriguez, who, does business with a television show, CNBC, gives advice to a lot of athletes because he's made a lot of money in his career, et cetera, et cetera. And Joe Smith was one of those people he was giving advice to because Joe Smith was on the verge of being broke a few years ago. They've had money issues, et cetera, et cetera. Nevertheless, he recently was shocked and very upset because he found out that his wife secretly, behind his back, had an OnlyFans account. Um, and when he found out about it, he was not pleased. Before I go any further, look at the exchange between these two up front when Joe Smith first finds out that she has an OnlyFans account.
It's stupid, yo. I can't believe I'm sitting here just finding out you got an OnlyFans page. Out of all these years, yo, the disrespect that comes with it, that you could even talk to me before you did it, that's bullshit, yo. That's fucked up, Keith. I'm telling you, yo, that's fucked up.
Wait, no, calm. But you're not gonna say fuck me or that's fucked up. It's not fucked up.
You recording me? What the fuck you doing?
Listen, it's not fucked up, and
What you mean it's
we're
not
going
fucked
to.
up?
Okay, look. So, I
It's
have an
disrespectful, first
OnlyFans
of all.
page, and he's mad because he's just now finding out about it.
Of course I'm mad at you just finding
But
out about it.
I'm not doing it with anybody but myself.
It
So
don't
why should I have to
matter.
tell you my
It
choice,
don't
my
matter.
body, my
I'm your
body, my
lover,
fucking
I'm your lover,
choice?
I'm your partner.
Now, y'all heard. Now, first of all, as you can see, she has no shame at all. None. No shame. And we see this all the time with, for some reason, with a lot of our colored women of America. No shame. She doesn't care. Your wife is supposed to represent you. That's why she carries your last name. But for some reason, our women in America do not care. And then on top of that, it's online. So everybody can see this. Everybody. Everybody can see what's going on. And she's embarrassing, she's not just being embarrassed, but she's also embarrassing her husband. This is why I say a lot of our black women don't care. This is why I say a lot of our black women do not want to be wives. They only want the title of wife. They don't want to be a wife. They don't want the responsibility. But let's go ahead and continue with this nonsense.
You're supposed to come to me and talk to
Joe,
me.
I've been talking to you about mad things. I've been asking for solutions to shit. You not giving me none, so I created one.
That's no solution. Not in my book. That's no
You knew
solution.
who the fuck I was when you met me.
Before,
Before,
we
yeah,
met,
before,
yeah, I
and
knew
I
that.
thought that I would never have to go
Man,
back
get
to
out of
anything
here.
like
I knew
this
that
again.
beforehand,
But
but not,
unfortunately, that's not the case
'Cause after
right
that,
now.
after that, everything's supposed to change.
Everything did change.
No. Obviously it
Everything.
hasn't.
No, it had to. I had
Obviously
to do
it
something.
hasn't. You stood out there showing your body. You stood out there doing stuff like this on camera.
You act like that's the only thing that I do. I have mad jobs, but they're not facilitating everything that needs to be done.
Ma'am, that doesn't matter. Your body belongs to your husband. Your body belongs to your husband. But a lot of these women don't get that. And she clearly said, my body, my choice. So whenever a man cheats, a woman should never get upset because that's his body and it is his choice. Because she doesn't look at it as committing. This is a form of committing adultery because you have other men that are looking at her body. So again, brothers, I tell you all the time, I don't advise any of you brothers to get married in America. It is not wise because again, these women do not want to be wives. They only want the title. And to be honest with you, Mr. Smith, this is kind of your fault. You knew what she was. She even said it. You knew who I was before, but you still married her. Most of these women want to go back to doing what they was doing. What's up? What's up, Noah?
Isn't it Florida that got rid of no fault divorce? What state was that?
Oh, you talking about alimony? I'm not sure if it's.
No, they got rid of no fault divorce, so now they can't.
Go ahead. Because I don't know. To answer your question, I don't know. I haven't really looked into that. I don't know what state. I couldn't even give you the answer to that. So I'm not even sure.
I Yeah, because like I know Florida got rid of like some sort of alimony or some shit like that, but I'm pretty sure they also got rid of no fault divorce, and now they can't divorce you when they're in a bad mood one morning.
That's something that I would have to look
But
into, but
yeah.
I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and continue. Let's go ahead and let's finish watching this nonsense.
Be done. So I got something extra. OnlyFans be breaking me off. What the
Man,
fuck?
come on, Keisha, with that. It don't matter what they breaking you off. It's the disrespect that comes with it.
What
You couldn't
disrespect?
you couldn't come and talk to me about it.
Okay, well we're talking about it now.
Because I had
so,
to find out on the fly.
all right then. But now, okay.
No,
So wait.
I had to find out on the fly.
So now you know.
Yeah, now I know.
Okay. And so?
No, I don't know, real. I have no idea. That's something I would have to look into. But brothers, y'all see how there's no shame? She has no shame. She's showing her body. I don't even know what she does on OnlyFans, but I'm going to assume that she's showing her body naked. So again, her body, her choice. Brothers, it is not wise. I'm going to just keep it 100 with you, brothers. It's not wise for you to get married. I don't advise any brother to sign that marriage contract. And if you actually want to get married, and I hate to say this, do it. If you got assets, I advise you to have a prenuptial agreement. All right. Oh, you asked if I know Ivy. Oh, okay. But let's continue. No, I don't know Ivy. I didn't even know who that was.
Whatever. I've been doing what I have to do, period. Like, that's bottom line. That's what it is.
Now, you see, here's the problem with that video, because see, we going to break it down. The problem with the video is, why the hell is there a video? Why are you having a conversation with your husband, but filming it for the world to see on social media?
Let me answer your question real quick, Stephen A. Smith. The reason why is because she wants attention. That is the number one drug for women. Attention. They love attention. They love to be seen. That is the reason why it's on video, because she wants to feel like she's doing something. So that way a whole bunch of other women could be like, yeah, sis, you doing the right thing. He broke anyway. So let's embarrass him. That's why she's doing that. But let's go ahead and continue, Stephen A.
Why? The same thing that I said about Jada Pinkett. Why? I'm talking about the filming. Remember that time you saw on camera talking to Will Smith, and Will Smith said, I really don't appreciate you filming me like this. You know, I've got my own fan base. I got my own life. You know, it ain't everybody's business. Would you take me off film? And Jada was like, see how he is, see how he is. What the hell is wrong with you women? And the fellas too who do this, where without anybody's permission or consent, you just decide to start an argument or to create friction and tension and literally film it for everybody to see. You're married. It's your business. Why? Now, you could say, I had an OnlyFans account and that's why he was bitching and moaning. Fine. But that would be about the OnlyFans account. Why are you having a discussion about it for all of us to see? How is that our business? How come your husband can't have a private conversation with you that nobody is around to see or is involved with? Why?
Attention, Stephen
Why
A.
can't he have that?
Attention, Stephen A. They want that attention.
That's the first part. That's the first part. But the story gets thicker. Because come to find out, Chavez is a former adult actress. We know what that means. Filmed and shared her husband's furious reaction to discovering her OnlyFans account. The clip of Smith furiously confronting Chavez over her OnlyFans account went viral last week. And then they quoted what he said, and you just saw it. Ladies and gentlemen, what's your definition of furious? Because you know how they stigmatize black men. Him being upset and saying that's effed up, blah, 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 blah. He didn't put his hands on her.
Thank you, Stephen A. I didn't say it. Stephen A. They put black men in a negative light, especially the so-called black American man. They put him in a negative light. And it's women that do that. That's why I say a lot of these women will say that they love you one day and will say F you ninja the very next day. They don't love you, brothers. They want to be able to do whatever they want to do. Most of our women here in America are out of control. And Mr. Joe Smith, you're gonna have to take responsibility too, because you married a person that was in the adult industry. I get it. So most women are gonna be on survival mode, but this ain't the way. She's supposed to represent her husband. And now she's embarrassing her husband. But let's continue.
What he's doing is having an argument with his wife. How come y'all didn't say she was furious? She was cussing at him, I gotta do what I gotta do, and all of this other stuff, and throwing his business out in the street about how he wasn't listening and he wasn't handling stuff, so I had to go out and do what I had to do. Why wasn't she labeled angry? Why wasn't she labeled a bit cantankerous? Why wasn't the word furious accorded to her? But I digress. Despite revealing that they're currently living separately following the discovery, guess what this girl did? She decides to go and speak to TMZ on camera. Before I go any further, look at where she takes this. Look, here it is. See for yourself.
Yes, the first question is, where's
How
Joe?
are you guys doing?
Where's Joe?
He's pretty pissed off with me. So he's been, I think he's at his sister's house. He's not talking to me right now. So, yeah.
Keisha, how long ago, obviously we saw in the video that Joe's saying he had no idea that you had this account. How long is the account, have you had the page?
I've had the page for at least over a year. It's on my Instagram and my LinkedIn, but that's what happens when you don't pay attention to your wife, period.
What? Brothers, y'all hear that? That's what happens when you don't pay attention to your wife. So I hope y'all heard that. And I'm not saying that every so-called black woman in America is like this, but 99.9% of them are. And she goes on TMZ. So of course TMZ is going to paint a picture and make her look like a hoe. And guess what? She doesn't even give a damn. She doesn't even care. Brothers, I tell you this all the time. The number one drug for the so-called black woman is attention. It's worse than the crack epidemic in the 80s and early 90s, brothers. I don't make this stuff up. And I'm not, and here's the thing, brothers. I don't know how old she is. I never looked up. I'm going to assume that she's probably either in her late 30s or probably in her early 40s. I could be wrong. But this is somebody that should be teaching a younger female how to be a woman. But look at what she's doing. So I'm going to go back to what I've said in the past. Women in America don't mature mentally until they're about 60 years old. I think I said 70. They don't mature mentally until they're about 70 years old. Let's continue.
And, you know, he has a friend that he's been entertaining, and she decided that, she wants to really put a bigger, wedge in our relationship. So she went digging around my page and was like, oh, do you know that she has this? And I blew it from that. And it's no secret, Joe's financial issues,
Mm-hmm.
and I have always made a good life for myself, you know. Before I met Joe, I was living overseas in Europe, and I had established myself as a singer, and I came back here, thinking that with his persona and who he was, once we got together and I found out who he was, that it would only take off, other things. But,
So, brothers, let me go ahead and translate what she just said. I saw Joe Smith. He's famous, so I'm gonna latch on to him so I could boost my career because I don't love him. I just need to use him. That's all she said. I need to use Joe Smith so I can get my status up. That was it. Because her singing career was probably hot garbage. Because I ain't seen no album out. I don't even know who this chick is anyway. So I'm sure she's probably popular in the porn industry, but her singing career was trash. Brothers, I'm going to tell you something. You have to evaluate these women because they don't care. They only care about self. They are selfish. And I say this all the time. The Most High gave them the maternal DNA so that way they can take care of somebody else besides themselves if they have a child. These women are selfish. That's why they're out of control. But brothers, you got to set standards for yourself. You have to set standards for yourself. Sometimes you got to take out the trash, brothers. Take out the trash. I don't know what has become of this, but let's continue.
Not everybody's hustle and drive are the same. And depression is a serious thing also. So, I've been just like, supporting and dealing and going through his trials and tribulations with him. I've started several businesses, I've been doing a lot. And I just figured out, I have a home in Cape Verde.
Every black woman always has several businesses. Watch out for those businesses, brothers, because they might be selling pork chops in a styrofoam plate with some pork and beans and some nasty ass potato salad. What up, Noah?
So how does having multiple businesses, being a successful businesswoman, equivalent to depression and selling your asshole pics on the internet?
Well, I really don't have I don't know how to answer that, but I think what she was basically saying is that she was trying to be supportive because again, Joe Smith squandered $61 million, or I don't know how he squandered it, but he was in financial trouble, and again, a lot of us men, we're not very educated when it comes to finances, and we need to do better. And if you have children, you need to teach them. I know it's difficult, but you're gonna have to teach them because they're gonna have to live. They're gonna have to live, brothers.
Well, Shaq has the highest Walmart bill. When he first started out, he was in mountains of debt because of what he bought.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just the same thing that Shaq went through, except Shaq is really successful, and it doesn't sound like Joe Smith isn't. But on the flip side of that, how are you being a successful wife by showing your dirty asshole on the internet? How is that being a supportive wife?
That's a good question, but she kept it from for over a year, and he found out through somebody else. So again, She didn't want to be a wife. She should have just. She clearly said that. She never wanted to be a wife. She just wanted just to. She only used him. And I don't see how Joe. Well, I know it's probably difficult because some men are in love, and brothers, you should never fall in love with the woman. You should love your woman, but never fall in love. But let's go ahead and continue.
I'm trying not to lose, and a roof over here we're trying to maintain that we almost got kicked out of. So I just kicked in the drive and did what I had to do.
You see, let me tell y'all something. I promise y'all this. The good news coming down the pike in the future is that the divorce rate is going to come considerably down. And the reason it's going to come considerably down is because fellas just ain't going to get married.
I hope y'all heard that, and it's already happening already. Because I always say the divorce rate is going up, but that makes sense because black men, and I'm not going to even just say black men. Men in general do not want to get married. They don't even want to even sign the contract because when they see stuff like this, it pushes them away. And the women are not making it any better at all. And I don't blame any man that says he doesn't want to get married. He doesn't want to sign a contract. I don't blame any man that says that at all. And if a man told me that, I support him. I don't think any man should get married. You should probably find you a lifelong partner, but don't sign the marriage contract. And if you do, have a prenuptial agreement just in case, because you don't know what these women, because some of them, you already see this one, she just wanted status. But go ahead, Noah.
So, how does a divorce rate between a small amount of people look small? Like,
Wait.
if you have less people with a less success rate, wouldn't that just make it look like it's higher?
No,
instead of lower?
No, what he's saying is the less men that get married, the less divorce there will be. That's why he said that. So we already know that the divorce rate is going up, but after a while, men are not trying to get married. So because they're not trying to get married, there will be no divorces. They're gonna find a way to fix because they already got, like, what is it called? The common law. Like, they got common law states. So it's gonna be to the point where brothers is gonna be like, nah, you can't even live with me. You can stay for a while, but you cannot live with me. So brothers is not. I'm telling you now, people don't want to get married. Women don't know how to live with a man. Hey, I'm not upset at any brother that said he doesn't want to get married. Hey, do your thing, brothers. Keep your peace.
We ain't dealing with this shit. So wait a minute. You can go behind the brother's back, literally showing your ass to the world. It's not an exaggeration. It's not an engagement in hyperbole. It's not being, trying to be intriguing. This is what she's doing. And literally going on TMZ, I got to do what I got to do. Implying that she had her standards. Let you know, well, I was doing this in Europe and I came back to America. And once I realized what he was, I thought about what we could do together. So in other words, you was with him because of the money. You was with him because you thought he had more.
Sounds about right, Stephen A.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, but especially ladies, what happened to better or for worse? For better or for worse? What happened to for richer, for poorer? In sickness and in health? Until death do us part. What happened to that? What happened to that? You see, what we're not talking about enough is that when we're talking about rules and a code of ethics and principles that you're supposed to apply, we're not talking about you as a woman and what you're supposed to do with a man. We're talking about what you're supposed to do with your man. the man you chose, the man you swore you loved, the man you dedicated yourself to, the man you vowed all of those things towards. Whether it's at a church or in some kind of ceremonial place with a pastor or somebody else espousing the vows, you echo them. You're supposed to live by them. But see, that's the damn problem in this country. Especially in this country, if not throughout this world in this day and age. Y'all don't give a damn. Again, this is not a conversation about what she's feeling. This is not a conversation about how she's acting. And the brothers, I'm ashamed of the brothers that's like, yo, man, he knew who he married. He knew who he married. Wait a minute.
Well, Stephen A. Smith, he did know who he married, so he's gonna have to take responsibility for that. But I do get what you say, Stephen A. Smith, because you try to get on us about that doesn't matter, but it does. It does, Stephen A. Smith, because at the end of the day, that's his peace that is being taken away. He didn't vent her long enough. He must have just he saw a beautiful woman, probably got some good coochie, and didn't want to let her go. That's a porn star with all these women out here in the world. And there's a bunch of colored women outside the United States. Why do you have to deal with somebody inside the United States? With all the choosing that brother could have got, he picked a porn star. So Stephen A. Smith, yes. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at him. Let's continue.
Wait a minute. He said it was supposed to change once we made this commitment. Didn't she say it changed? Didn't she say, but you know what I'm accustomed to and you know what I'm looking for. So when we didn't have, I had to do what I had to do. Didn't she imply that?
So Stephen A. Smith, that means he already knew. He knew. And you heard, I know, look, we both elders here, Stephen A. Smith, but you know the old saying, you cannot turn a hoe into a housewife. You know the saying, Stephen A. Smith. Stop playing. Let's continue.
What happened to doing without? What happened to understanding that you know what, you might not be able to afford a mansion. It might be just a regular old house. You might not afford 4 cars. You might only could afford 2. You might actually have to go to the Cheesecake Factory for dinner instead of Morton Steakhouse or something like that. You might have to do that. What happened to all that? I thought you loved him. I thought he's the guy you want to spend the rest of your life with. I thought he was that dude. For better or worse, richer for poorer. How about this one? Because you knew who you were and you knew that you gave your body up for money, assuming that's what you did, right? How about the fact that he loved you anyway? Married you anyway? Gave himself to you anyway? He deserved that? We ain't talking about your decisions in terms of what you choose to do to make money. We're talking about you publicizing it.
Right.
If you notice me, I keep going back to that. You're going to live your life, live your life. I'd have never married your ass. I can tell you that much. I'd have never married you. You know, porn stars and all the adult film stars, whatever words you want to use. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have married you. But that's me. Hell, I wouldn't have dated you, but that's me. He obviously was cool with it because you sold them on the fact that you did what you had to do. You was one of those women that Chris Rock talked about. I'm just doing this so I could pay for my education or I could pay my bills. Remember that? Remember that stand-up that Chris Rock did? I'm just here. I'm not trying to do this alone. I'm trying to get through school, which is possible. But the point is, he married you. Maybe you shouldn't do it. Maybe you should. That's y'all business. Maybe he should have married you. Maybe he shouldn't. That's y'all business. the one thing that I want people to gravitate towards universally when it comes to all of this, how about a wife keeping their marital business private? And
Brothers, that the way these women are today, everything has to be on social media. I was just looking at somebody's post talking about if your man doesn't post you, then he has a secret lover somewhere. So the way I look at things is a lot of women are messing up their own relationships. I mean, why does a man have to constantly put you on social media to say, hey guys, I got a wife? I don't even want people, if I'm in a relationship, I don't want nobody really to know. Like, I don't want nobody in my business because I don't want nobody questioning me. I don't want nobody looking at my woman in a certain way. I don't even want nobody spying on my woman. You know what I'm saying? So, brothers, all that stuff about posting me and all that other nonsense, all that is just a seeking attention. That's all they want. They want attention. And attention is going to get them killed, get them burned, get them embarrassed, and it might even have you embarrassed. All these women that love seeking attention, you need to watch out for those type of women because they have some type of problem. They need to go seek counseling. That woman there that did Joe Smith's wife need to go seek some type of counseling. For you to get naked in front of millions of people, because I'm sure she made a lot of money, but you get naked for millions of people online, and your husband has to find out through somebody else. I ain't gonna lie. If I was Joe Smith, I would have already put her in the trash can already. She needs to be taken out to the trash. She's for the streets. Let's continue.
and the husbands. That's my only point in all of this. My only point in all of this, you started the minute he found out. Why was he on video? Why are you telling the world and showing the world how your husband feels? Hasn't he been humiliated enough? Then you go on TMZ, and not only do you humiliate him by showing how he reacts to knowing that you got an OnlyFans account, but then you double down and turn around and go on national TV on TMZ and talk about you got to do what you got to do. He knew what you were doing, and he knew what he married. And it's no secret of his financial difficulties. So now you want to humiliate him. Forget the fact that people already knew it already. Why'd you have to double down and remind everybody? I totally forgot about that. I wasn't walking around here thinking about Joe Smith, but I did today because you put his name out there. You his wife. He trusted you. And you go sit up there and put his business on Front Street like that? You can't keep something private and handle it? Is it possible? Huh, Keisha? You went on TMZ for a reason. Because going on TMZ attaches a face to the name, elevates the profile, and puts you in a position where, dare I say, you'll get more fans on OnlyFans. Was that the objective? Because if it was, isn't that selling your husband out? Ain't that selling him out?
Pretty much.
Ladies, when we gonna focus on that? Again, live and let live. If that's what you do to get money, girl, do your thing. I'm not calling you names. And I don't disrespect you like that. And I'm certainly not going to disrespect Joe Smith, who I've always liked and respected. But what I'm saying to you is, you couldn't keep that to yourself.
Of course.
What you gonna tell us next? Who you with? And how much better or worse than they are than him? What you gonna do next to humiliate the brother? And ladies, when y'all gonna step up and tell these ladies to stop
Never.
humiliating and emasculating the dude?
Never. They're not
You
going
don't
to do
want him.
that.
You don't want him. You want to do other things. You want to do other things. He cheating, you cheating, whatever. Why is it our business? That is the point of this discussion. Nothing else. Why is it our business? You know the answer. Because you're trying to do business.
Got him.
And you willing to put your husband's business out in the world so you can generate more business. If that is what marriage is in this day and age, to all the ladies out there, good luck finding a husband. You'll need it if you can't even do something as simple as respecting his privacy and keeping y'all business. You can't do that. There's no hope for unions in the future of this country, if not this world. Take it from me. It ain't hard to do, because I don't know a man alive that feels any different than me right now.
Preach.
This specific point.
Preach.
Only good news about it is for Jada Pinkett. You got fans, evidently. They like telling their business too.
Attention. So, brothers, again, listen, I don't advise any of you black men, and I'm really y'all black men, I don't advise any of you black American men to get married. I don't advise it. You're not really going to get anything out of it, because there are women that actually follow her and think what she did was okay because she's helping out her husband. Like, there was no other, like, she couldn't get into any other business venture but that. OnlyFans. All right. I'm going to play one more of his content anyway. I'll play one more.